Man, Terence Crawford ain't fighting no damn Tszyu. All smoke and mirrors, which is a tactic that he learned from Bob Erm. You know, ultimately, that's really what he want to do. He wants to fight Tszyu so he can avoid fighting Errol Spence. Because he know Errol Spence is coming back bigger. He's coming back stronger. He's coming back better. That's why it's important to do your research and do your homework. I mean, all you got to do is just simply go on Google. So it says, what is a rematch clause in boxing? Exploring the rules and regulations. What is a rematch clause in boxing? Rematches in boxers can be thrilling events, bringing fans back to the edge of their seats as two boxers go toe-to-toe for a second time. But what exactly is a rematch clause and why are they so important? This blog post will delve into the inner workings of this particular type of agreement between fighters and promoters to ensure that fights remain competitive and fair. The basics. A rematch clause is an agreement made between opponents or their representatives before entering into a fight contract. This clause states that if one boxer wins, there must be another match within a certain period of time with the same provisions as the first bout, such as weight class, purse size, and venue. Generally, this period ranges from 30 days up to a year. I repeat, this period ranges from 30 days up to 1 year after the initial contest has taken place. It's important for both parties involved because it helps protect them from any potential long-term damage incurred during the fighting by ensuring both sides have ample opportunity to recuperate before entering another bout. Additionally, it provides financial security should either fighter suffer serious injury or even death due to injuries sustained during competition, allowing them or their families some form of compensation should something unfortunate occur during combat. In other words, Terence Crawford, you not getting out that ass whipping, bruh. So it states right here in black and white that it's important for both parties involved because it helps them from any potential long-term damage. So it hasn't even been a year yet. It haven't even been a year. Terence Crawford is trying to get out of getting beat. The first thing Errol Spence said when he made his return back to social media, the first thing he said is, y'all could kill that retirement talk. He said he wanted the rematch. He told Terence Crawford, get out of his feelings. It seems to me Errol Spence is the one who's more adamant, and he's the one who's pushing more for the fight. And it seems as though Terence Crawford, who alluded to what? Retirement. How you go from contemplating retirement to now you want to fight Tszyu? Are y'all not seeing the behavioral patterns? So this to me is a call out that this is really what he wants to do. He's hoping that Errol Spence doesn't want to fight him. He's hoping Errol Spence does not want the rematch. But didn't you just say you only wanted Canelo? Terence Crawford switches up. That's why you can't take his word. You can't listen to nothing he say because he flip-flops. 1 minute he wants to fight Canelo. That was the only fight that he said he wanted. He wasn't even thinking about Tszyu. You know, Errol Spence, he's getting surgery. You know, he's not going to be back in enough time. You're not a doctor. How you going to tell us his timetable on when he's going to be ready to come back? How do you know? Be transparent. Did you have a conversation with Errol? Did y'all talk behind the scenes and this is what he told you? Let's just go based upon track record and how Errol Spence moved in the past. When Errol Spence had the eye injury, when he was going into the Manny Pacquiao fight, Errol Spence was still trying to fight Manny Pacquiao. He was like, man, I'll fight him with one eye. I don't care. He said he was trying to go against the doctor's orders. If this man got into the ring with you with a broken rib, eye already messed up, already weight drained, already looked like it was something wrong with him. So what would possess you to think that he wouldn't want to fight you with his eye surgery? So that's the narrative that they're trying to put out there. Because it's like reverse psychology. Don't you know how you really don't want to do it, but you're going to make the person believe that they don't want to do it for real? That's ultimately what he's doing. You want to fight Tszyu. Terence Crawford is locked into contract with PBC for 2 more fights. And ultimately, this is why Terence Crawford is saying, well, I got 1 more fight left. Blue Blood Sports seems to be a vessel for Terence Crawford. This is just my opinion. Once again, it seems as though he speaks through his vessel and the vessel reports the news. So what's being said? Terence Crawford is in a lose-lose situation. Terence Crawford is going to be sidelined. But it's his team saying. You see Bernie the boxer. He just loves to fight. Terence Crawford just loves to fight. You can't keep the man out the sport. You can't keep him away from boxing. He loves boxing. This is why I said they flip-flop, because they believe everything. Every time Terence Crawford say one thing, he switch it up and his fans just follow wherever he go. It reminds me of the mother duck. When the mother duck run this way, all the ducks follow behind her this way. When the mother duck go over here, all the ducks follow her over this way. They just keep following her. And that's how Terence Crawford fans is. He just want the big money fight, the lucrative fights. He only wanted Canelo. That's the only person he wanted to fight was Canelo. Now the conversation has changed from Canelo, because he know he ain't getting a Canelo fight, to now he want Tszyu. But Errol Spence haven't given us no indication that he doesn't want to fight you. His behavioral patterns have shown us that even with injuries, he'll go against the doctor's orders to get in there and fight you. Even after this man took a beating, he triggered his rematch clause. See, this wasn't what they were expecting. They thought that they was just going to beat Errol Spence to a pulp. They thought they was going to beat him down. He thought he was going to beat up Errol Spence, destroy him. And he didn't expect Errol Spence would want to come back for the rematch. But now EJ wants the rematch. Terence Crawford don't want the rematch because he knew what he had to do, considering Errol Spence was a one-dimensional fighter, according to his fans, the Terence Crawford fans. He's a one-dimensional fighter, one-trick pony, doesn't move his head, no defense, overrated power. His opponents is overrated, and he worked with Victor Conte. Like I said, Terence Crawford is not fighting no Tszyu. You wanted the big money fights. How is Tszyu a big money fight? It's not. You ain't said nothing about Tszyu at first. Now all of a sudden you want to fight Tszyu. It was just Canelo. That's the only person that you was talking about, because you didn't even want to really fight Errol Spence. That's why your team put out months ago that y'all were hoping that Errol Spence don't take the rematch. So that's why you keep switching the weight. You like, all right, well, we'll fight at 154. Errol Spence like, all right. Then you're going to say, well, I'm going to change it back to 147. Wanted to take the weight back to 147, hoping that Errol Spence say, nah, I don't want to fight at 147. I'm comfortable at 147. I was weight drained. But then Errol Spence say, well, I'll fight you at 147. So every time you switch up, Errol Spence is right there. You're not going nowhere. You're in a 3-fight deal. This is the one factor that everybody is missing out on. Al Heyman loyalty is with Errol Spence. With that being said, he does not have to guarantee Terence Crawford Tszyu. How's Terence Crawford going to get Tszyu if Al Heyman don't let him fight Tszyu? If Al Heyman don't want him to fight Canelo, he not fighting Canelo. You either going to fight Boots or you're going to fight Spence. You don't want Boots, so you got to fight Spence. If you're so much better than Errol Spence, do it again. Prove to us again.